sure you've noticed that now the crews that are working in the village, and I want to present what our program is and give you opportunity to question if you have any. There are 5 components. First is routine trimming. And I know the first thing everybody says, it's ugly, it looks terrible. It does. But it is not residential commercial work, it is line clearance, tree trimming. They're entirely different animals, but it is done to the latest science to protect the health and vigor of the trees. Then in the residential areas, like here in the village, when the crews trim, they chip it up. Some do a better job of raking up and cleaning the yards than others, but that is part of it as well. When we get out into rural areas, if the homeowner agrees, we allow the crews to windrow and dice the brush so it lays there and rots back down into the ground. The second component is customer request. When a customer calls in, we've got a concern about this, we go out and investigate every one, and we have 5 days to do it by the company's policy. Normally we're there the next day, if not within 2 days. The third is storm and trouble, as you might have noticed we just encountered. In those conditions, what we do is clear the electric facilities. We don't do brush cleanup, we clear the lines and move on to the next call. The fourth component is trees that have defects in them that we can identify that make them a potential threat to the electric system. And we work with the homeowners to get those down. We do not do stump removals. And here in the village, you folks are part of our 10,000 Trees and Growing program. And then the final component is responding to invasives. And I'm sure that most of you have heard of the emerald ash borer and the hob that it's playing with all the ash trees. And for the past year and a half, we've had a program addressing and identifying and removing those. We're working circuit by circuit, and there's a lot of trees that we don't take because they may not be close to the wires, they may lean away from the wires. Sometimes residents say no. So those are the key components, and if you have any questions, I'd be glad to entertain them.
How many subcontractors do you have in our area?
KW Reese has the contract for doing the trimming that's going on in the village. Asplund does our normal hourly work. We deal with 5 vendors. Those are the 2 in the area.
2 in our area.
Yes.
Okay.
And you have business cards if you would like to read those.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thank you, sir.
Well, thank you very much for coming and clarifying everything. Thank you
Appreciate it.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate it. Okay, review resolutions. We call for a special meeting on March the 20th, 2017.
That should be read March 19th, 2018.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to do it in 2017.
Time travel.
Cut and
Thank
paste,
you,
you know,
thank
it's
you.
cut and paste.
Don't do that, because I'm just reading here.
Yeah, I know. We discussed it before you got up here. That's all right.
Okay, and nobody told me. So, there you go. So, March 19th, 2018, which is the day I'm presenting my budget. Then we have a change in term of office for planning board member.
What's that about, please?
That is because we actually do have a local law that specifies the terms and how they're supposed to expire. So we're trying to get that in line with that local law. Okay, those terms are 5-year terms, and there's supposed to be one person expiring every year. And that's what we've done.
Okay. So right now, the way it sits, you have 1 in 18, 19, 2 in 19, and 2 in 20, and then we're just
Right.
going to be working on.
So we're
When it
switching
goes
some
to
of them
20.
around that will go in order so that we have one person expiring
Every year. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
The 5-year terms for both the planning and
Yeah.
zoning now?
Yep.
and 2 years for the alternates.
Alternates, right, so they were two.
Would that be, Jim, while there was a notation in here that under the planning board that you said that it was going to be a 4-year term to offset it?
I'm sorry, no, I misspoke on that. There was no-
The planning is 4 years, the zoning is 5, isn't it? Somebody told me
I
that.
don't know, there's this notation there. I didn't know if that was to try to offset each,
Yes, well,
rotation.
when he said 5, it was me 5. No, I was under the understanding that the planning board was 4.
I think they're both fine, aren't they?
So,
I thought one
because I
was
recall.
It says 5-year term.
Oh. We'll have to look at
And
the.
then under notation, it says Lyndon said 4-year term. I
Right.
think he meant so that they would be
Well,
offset.
because when I was.
No, I think he said 4 years when we made this appointment.
Right. So it would be an
And so-
offsetting. there.
And so no,
When
it
I
was
served-
just,
when I
he
served-
thought it was 4-year
Ah.
terms.
Rick, when I served on the planning board, I served 4 years, and that was,
Yeah, I think they're both 5 years.
They are.
Everybody is 5 years.
So
So
that's- they-
it's one person every year in both planning and zoning.
Right.
because they said that the term was up at 4 years.
No, they're all 5
They're
years.
5 years.
There you go.
So the date of expiration is,
They're all 5 years.
Correct.
should be 4/21 and 4.
We're discussing between us and you
That's
have
what
it out
we're- that's
here.
what
We
we're
Thank you.
discussing.
we appointed 4 because Jim thought it was 4, so we appointed 4, and then we went back in and checked the resolution.
Right.
And there
So I
actually
give you-
is-
And it was fine.
So then I completed a 4.5-year term, that says in somebody else's term then.
Probably.
So we're just going to bump Rick Napoli up 1 year. Then it offsets.
So it'll be
Okay.
total 5-year terms,
Okay.
for both.
Okay.
So changing terms of office for 2 zoning board
Correct.
members. And then we have the date change for the Italian festival, go to July 7th. And then the authorization to sign, for me to sign the contract from the New York State Main Street Grant, your project. Resolution to follow? So we don't have the resolution today?
Dan, do you have that one, Dan? The resolution for that? Or-
I do not, Rick.
Can I ask one question about either of the contracts? There's something in one of them, I couldn't find it real quickly here. 5% matching of the village funds, that was the Main Street with the 20,000, is that correct, or I'm trying to figure out?
That's a different
That's a different
grant.
grant.
That's a different grant.
Okay.
This is not our grant, this is Ted's grant.
Oh, I thought it also might have gone into the Main Street.
It's called New York's Main Street. It's the same, comes from the same pot of money.
Oh, I was, fixing the facades and everything, it's the same thing?
No,
No.
he's fixing his building.
Okay, I might
So-
be talking about the facade,
Yeah,
grant.
that's not the one that's on the table.
Okay,
And the 5% is only for the one we applied now, which is the technical assistance,
Okay.
not for the actual grant.
okay. All right. Thank you.
This one here is based on, Dan did the analysis on it, and he sent it to me, and then I forwarded it to all of the trustees,
Yes.
so you guys had that.
Yes.
And, I didn't know if you had any other questions before we move forward, or,
Dan, in an email, you stated that there were a few things that, there were 10 bullet points that you'd like to cover in that. Did you get all the ones that you needed?
Yeah, I mean, those were just things that I thought we needed to know going into it. The contract is standard boilerplate for this type of agreement. I just want to make sure the village was aware of what they were signing on to. The only thing that in document as presented that needs to be changed before we can approve it is the dates.
Okay.
So can we do it next Monday?
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Sure.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
Thank you.
because we're calling for a special meeting on Monday.
Yes,
because of the-
then we can do that too.
Pass the
Yes,
resolution.
not going to take us long.
Yeah.
I have a question, maybe this was answered before and I forgot it or wasn't, I don't know. It says on page 10 of 18, Schedule A, it just says funding source, New York State Main Street is the $450,000, and then other sources, 177.
He has the other sources.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Then we have the justice report for February 2018. We have the police department report for February 2018. Have some additions to the roles of the fire department. And storm cleanup, when Perry has something to say. Storm.
Your turn.
You're up.
You're up.
How about the storm cleanup? Should I say it?
I'm sorry, I'm hard of hearing.
Come in the front.
You talking about the request for, yeah. We're so overwhelmed with the amount of brush that, just take a ride by our shop and you'll see, that's just from surface cleanup. We're gonna need to get a tub grinder, Rick and I talked about, into our shop as quickly as possible to clean up the mess. It's just unbelievable how much stuff we got coming. We got trees full trees that have to come down that we are working, tree service is working right now to take them down because they're a hazard to the public. And like I said, once the snow starts to melt, people start pulling stuff up in the backyard, we're buried. So without that tub grinder, we're gonna have a giant mess.
I mean, I think it's a very reasonable request and something that we should approve.
So the low price on that, Perry, was steep? Yes? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I forget, how many quotes did you get? 3, 2?
We got three.
Three.
There's only 3 companies that have the commercial size tub grinders. One of them, Catco, sold all their tub grinders. They're no longer in business. So we ended up getting the last 2. Zoldas gave us a quote. They won't give us an hourly quote. They would only give us a daily quote. We obviously will work an 8-hour day because we have to sign a loader to work with them for pushing the brush to them. So based on that, St. George is the cheapest of the 2. And he's local.
And that's hourly?
His tub grinders are back in town, so he can mobilize them as soon as tomorrow morning.
There's no state assistance or anything in this, in the storm?
Not yet.
Not yet.
He's keeping track of all of the
Yeah, not
expenses
yet.
associated with the
We've been
cleanup.
documenting everything since the storm hit. Just
I'm
in case
sure it's gonna be
they
something
grab
there.
some funding. I mean, right down to the, mechanical repairs to equipment that was caused, damage that was caused during the storms.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Perry, as far as our contractor to do the tree trimming would be Great Lakes, are they already going to, you said you picked up the brush on ground level, but the trees that need to be taken down, is that who's going to do it on, like on our right of ways?
For the trees,
Yeah.
we have a tree service.
We don't do it, yeah.
We're only taking the ones that are hazard. And as you said, in the right of way, that, potentially could fall on the road or on the sidewalk. I'm not.
Or not necessarily take down the whole tree, but the trees on our right of way that have branches are broken
Right,
up
yeah,
in the air, they will be.
anything we can't reach, we have power, anything we can't reach with our equipment, we have more versatility now that we bought that River Terra excavator, so we can get higher, so we cut down on the expenses there, but anything that's out of our range, Great Lakes will take down for us, and anything that involves wires, Nate and his crew take down, because even tree services don't get involved in that. But no, if a tree is deemed safe, or not dead to the point where it needs to be taken down, we don't take them down, we just trim out the dead stuff, and we'll take out the hazardous situation and leave the tree standing.
How many more man hours do you think you have to get at least a bulk of the area cleaned up? Or at least safe? Do you have any idea of estimate man hours?
So far,
No. Going forward, how many more do you think it's gonna take to get you caught up?
it's gonna depend on the weather a lot. If it starts to thaw, we're gonna be looking at 2 to 3 weeks of solid pickup. Because as you and I were talking about coming in, I mean, the stuff that's down in the backyards, I'm not gonna go in the backyards and get it, but they're gonna drag it out and we're gonna have to pick it up.
But as for your own team, right now, the guys doing the street work, are you pretty well caught up on the
Yes,
street?
yeah, we started a second round this morning, because some people did get some stuff out, but now we're going out, taking out the high hangers that we didn't get the first pass, because like I said, we were worried about public safety on the first round. Now we're gonna start reaching into trees that we weren't posing a specific public hazard, and we're starting to take down the broken off stuff now.
Okay.
And we'll continue until it's done.
No, I'm just guesstimating number of man hours from here on out.
Yeah, so far, we've all last week and today, so it's
A lot.
48 hours per man.
And that doesn't include our park and the rest of the
Yeah.
stuff either, too.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten into our own parks yet,
Right.
so.
Okay, thank you.
When the residents bring their branches to the curb, do they have to have them cut up in those small, or
Not storm related.
not with, okay, that's what I was going to consider, because there's a lot of large branches, and some people just don't have the ability to cut up those down. If they could drag them to the curb, that would be fine?
Yeah, yes, if they can get it out, in a lot of cases, it's easier to drag them out once you cut them down. Cut them to a smaller
Well, true.
length.
But-
So it's, if you wanna pull them out, we're gonna take them.
Okay.
We're just gonna feed them into our chipper, or we're gonna lower them on the, once the tub grinder is here, we're gonna bulk hauls right to our shop
Okay,
and dump near and then they'll just load, they'll constantly be grinding all day long.
thank you.
And then we're going to have a large amount of chips, if people, the public would like to help themselves to it. It's usable, just don't put it around your house, it's not
Right.
treated, but you can put them around trees, and we're gonna have a very large pile available, so.
Well, that'd be good for people to go and get
And
it.
if not, we'll haul the Webster
Sure.
Road once we're able to get in there and get that opened up.
Can we use it on the playgrounds?
No.
No.
When you mentioned Webster Road, did Steve clear that out last fall?
No, we never got in there.
That's still pending too, because I know we talked about the cost of Steve bringing his tub grinder up there and bulldozer and clearing a larger space for us to utilize that area. That he wasn't able to get to that this last fall.
No, we didn't have a budget for it.
Who is Steve?
Steve
St.
St.
George.
George.
St. George.
With- with-
Plus, the hurricanes hit, and Steve's tub grinders
Steve
went.
was not here
Oh,
anyway.
was he?
Yeah, but we had no
We
budget
didn't have no
for it
budget
anyway.
for it anyway.
Okay, so is that something
We have
that,
no budget for what he's talking about now either, but we're gonna
Right.
have to appropriate money out
Well,
of the contingency account to cover what he's got.
the reason I asked that though is in order to accommodate the amount of refuse from all this down trees that because of the storm, we have to have some place to put it. And if our Webster Road area isn't able to handle that much, could we include the cost of making that larger to make it so it could handle what we can in the emergency if it becomes available? You know what I'm saying? Trying to bring that in because it's, we have to do something with it. So it means that we have to make more room for it. So that would be, is it possible that we could put that into the cost of any emergency funds that may become available? If you could add that, if you could put that in that list, is what I'm saying.
How much money do we need for this?
That's what we have to wait to see, is
Yeah, I
see
didn't
what
see
he's
any.
gonna spend on the cleanup of the
Right.
yard first.
Because if we
Because
take it out
may not
of
have the
contingency.
contingency account to do that, and then you could go ahead and appropriate funds from your fund balance to cover that, or you can wait till the new fiscal year and it's in the budget for the new fiscal year.
Yeah, it isn't that far off.
And it's not that far.
Did you talk to Steve about taking the chips? Because he takes chips.
No, we didn't get into that lengthy of a discussion, but it's a possibility. I'm not,
Because he dyes them. He has a dyeing unit and everything up there. He dyes the chips 3 different colors and he sells chips. So you maybe you'll have a conversation with Steve about disposal of the chips.
I have to contact Kevin Reading first thing in the morning after, if it gets approved, and put it in motion so I can discuss it. Steve's in.
We have to know how much it's going to cost to grind it first, and then go to the next step.
On the Webster Road, if I can briefly talk about that, we can't get in there. I did put money in this year's budget to do Webster Road in the preliminary budget plan. We can't get into Webster Road right now at all with the equipment, so we couldn't go up there, and with Steve, it's gonna be a matter of, I might not even move him in tomorrow. We may wait a couple days and get a bigger brush pile before we bring him in, so he doesn't have to bring it in, take it out, bring it in, take it
Well,
out.
I don't
He
have a
charges us.
resolution for today anyway,
Right,
so it'd be next Monday before we get.
that's fine. But he charges $1,500 every time he moves it, so we wanna make sure we have a bulk of our material ready to go, so.
Yes.
All right, have to do something about it. Let's move forward.
I guess, anything else under new business?
Not that I know.
Brad, I know we discussed a little something earlier regarding the peddler's license. And a solicitation license? Did you want to discuss any of that tonight?
Well, I know that Deanna and I had talked about I had recommended that we make some changes to the peddler's license to require even the nonprofits, because by law, we're not allowed to charge nonprofits for the peddler's license, but I'd like to require them to at least come and complete one. I don't.
Just so we have it on file, right?
Well, and then they would actually have a permit. They just wouldn't pay for the permit, but they would at least have a permit that a homeowner could require them to show them. Because what's happened is, as part of the drug epidemic that's going on, we now have people who are actually going around and posing as nonprofit, or, I'm collecting for Roswell.
Sure.
I'm collecting for, ASPCA, and they're going door to door, and because they're nonprofits, they're not, under our laws, they're not required to get a permit. I'd like to make them have to get a permit so that we could track them and shut them down. So that was something I put out on. Dan and I, we talked via email about it, but it kind of has fallen, I don't know what your thoughts are.
Just
Dan.
got
Not
tucked
to put
away.
you on the spot tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've looked at the law, there's absolutely nothing that prevents us from doing that. And I think it's a good idea. And not only should the residents appreciate it, but also the other not-for-profits should appreciate it. Because if I'm going out to, collect for Children's Hospital, and somebody else is going out to collect for Children's Hospital, who's the legitimate one?
Correct.
So, yeah, that seems like a really good idea to me, so we're kind of kicking it around.
All right, well, let's try to get something together.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
No, we had nothing, we canceled it. What, the executive session? Is that what you were talking
I want to talk.
about? Oh, okay, go ahead.
Okay. I hereby make a motion to enter into executive session to discuss matters leading to the
It's only going
appointment,
to take 5 minutes, but it's better to.
to the appointment, employment, dismissal, or removal of a particular person.
A second.
Trustee Barris.
Aye.
Trustee Christina.
Yes.
Trustee Linden.
Aye.
Trustee Bridge.
Yes.
Trustee Esser.
Yes.
The United States of America.
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, good evening. I call this meeting to order. At a regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Fredonia, duly called and held on the 12th day of March 2018 at 7:30 p.m. in the Trustees' Room, 2nd floor, Village Hall, Fredonia, New York, and public notice of the time and place of this meeting has been given to the news media and conspicuously posted in one or more designated public locations in accordance with Section 104 of the Open Meetings Law.
Whereas members of this board present at this meeting have read the official minutes of the Board of Trustees' regular meeting of February 26, 2018, now therefore be it resolved, this board approves the minutes as entered into the official minutes, and be it further resolved that the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
A second.
Trustee Barris.
Aye.
Trustee Christina.
Yes.
Trustee Linden.
Aye.
Trustee Bridge.
Yes.
Trustee Esser.
Yes.
We have two reports for tonight. There's the Justice Report for the month of February 2018. Total fines and surcharges of $12,457, parking tickets of $4,280, for a total of $16,737 for the month. Total number of cases, 148. There were 3 civil cases, 2 ABC cases, 16 village ordinances, 37 criminal cases, and 90 vehicle and traffic.
Thank you.
The second report is the police department report for the month of February. There were 708 incidents reported, 32 accidents, 69 arrests reported, vehicle and traffic 57, and 155 parking tickets issued. And that's it for reports.
Correspondence was received from the Secretary of the Fredonia Volunteer Fire Department to add Joshua Mayer to the active roles.
Be resolved that the name of Joshua Meyer, is it Meyer or Mayer?
I don't know.
Mayer? 1 Temple Square, Fredonia.
Meyer.
Meyer,
Okay.
there you are, all right. 1 Temple Square, Fredonia is hereby added to the active roles of the J.S. Lambert Hook and Ladder Company effective immediately.
I second the resolution. And I vote aye.
Trustee Christina.
Yes.
Trustee Linden.
Aye.
Trustee Briggs.
Yes.
Trustee Essek.
Yes.
The public portion, anybody from the public wants to make a statement?
I shall.
No? Okay. Moving on. Resolution.
Be it resolved that a special meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Fredonia be held on Monday, March 19th, 2018, immediately following the workshop session to present the mayor's tentative village budget and to call for a public hearing on said budget to be held on April 9th, 2018, and to consider any other business that may come before this board.
I'll second that motion.
Trustee Barris.
I vote aye.
Trustee Christina.
Yes.
Trustee Linden.
Aye.
Trustee Briggs.
Yes.
Trustee Essek.
Yes.
Be it resolved, the Board of Trustees recommends changing the expiration date of the term of office of the appointment of Rick Napoli on the Planning Board to January 2021 to comply with the Village Law, Section 7-718, as to properly structure the membership so one term expires each year.
I second the resolution. I vote aye.
Trustee Christina.
Yes.
Trustee Linden.
Aye.
Trustee Briggs.
Yes.
Trustee Essek.
Yes.
Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees recommends changing expiration date of the term of office of 2 appointments of the members of the zoning board as follows: Michaeline E. Comerford with a term to expire January 2019, and James C. McKillop with a term to expire January 2020 to comply with Section 297-23.2 D4 of the Village Code as to properly structure the membership so one term expires each year.
I'll second the motion.
Trustee Barris.
I vote aye.
Trustee Christina.
Yes.
Trustee Linden.
Aye.
Trustee Briggs.
Yes.
Trustee Essek.
Yes. Be it resolved that the resolution adopted by the Board of Trustees on February 26, 2018 regarding the Italian Festival is hereby revised to change the date of the event from June 16, 2018 to July 7, 2018. Be it further resolved that the request to suspend the open container law has not yet been determined.
I'll second the motion.
Trustee Barris.
I vote aye.
Trustee Christina.
Yes.
Trustee Linden.
Aye.
Trustee Briggs.
Yes.
Trustee Essek.
Yes.
Okay, before we go, I just want to give a little report to the board. I went to the Chadwick Bay meeting last week, and it was very interesting. Different communities do many things. Main thing is water and sewer. They're fixing water. They're trying to get money. They also, the village of Silver Creek are trying to, actually, I think they have already a contract to change the lighting, street lighting to LED. So that was interesting. And the new thing that they're proposing to start discussing is sewer. If we can somehow cooperate and collaborate with them. So I thought I'd
Just
give
want
you.
to add to that, Mayor, I did attend last Tuesday, I attended the Silver Creek Board meeting and listened
Okay.
to their LED program.
Oh, okay.
I was there when the New York Power Authority was there to offer their suggestions and recommendations to the village. And I had a nice talk with a gentleman afterwards, so
Oh, good.
I'll
good.
put together a little report and
Maybe we
present that
can
next time.
Get
Sure.
it. Very good. Very good. Thank you. So that's for my board. If we have nothing else, can I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, if there's no further business, that we adjourn.
A second.
Trustee Barris.
Aye.
Trustee Christina.
Yes.
Trustee Linden.
Aye.
Trustee Briggs.
Yes.
Trustee Essek.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.